Greetings, YouTube, and this is Efren with eKiwi3 Enterprises, coming at you with a little bit different kind of video. Rather than a spotlight review type video or product review, it's more of a how I see things / rant. If it does well, I'll do some more. It's about the third take. I forgot to turn a light on. So basically, this is about drones or unmanned aerial vehicles or unmanned aerial systems, I think they're called. Found out that after doing a spotlight on DJI Innovations, they make drones. They make the Phantom. That's the Phantom right there. You see that? I'll put a picture of a couple of different drones up on the screen here while I'm talking. And I found out the FCC is planning on regulating, or I guess they already have, apparently. They're trying to make new rules to clarify what constitutes a model aircraft, including drones. They say, according to the new rule, that model aircraft, including drones, must be visible to the operator at all times during flight, using his or her own natural vision, thus prohibiting the operation of drones from remote, centralized locations using TV cameras mounted on the drone, as planned by Amazon. Their drone delivery service is ground to a halt, apparently. Well, under the new FAA rule, drones can be used by private individuals for hobby or recreation purposes, including flying a model aircraft at the local model aircraft club, taking photographs with a model aircraft for personal use, using a model aircraft to move a box from point to point without any compensation, and no free shipping doesn't count for that, viewing a field to determine whether crops need water when they are grown for personal enjoyment. So if you have a ranch and you actually sell your crops, you can't use a drone to see if your place needs watering? That's ridiculous. They say, we wanted people to fly model aircraft for recreation to enjoy their hobby, but to enjoy it safely. I agree with that. Model aircraft operators know exactly what's expected of them. I mean, it's common sense for most people. So what you cannot do is receiving money for demonstrating aerobatics with the model aircraft. You cannot, a realtor cannot use a model aircraft to photograph a property that he is trying to sell and using the photos in the property's real estate listing. That's ridiculous. A person photographing a property or event and selling the photos to someone else. Delivering packages to people for a fee, like Amazon was trying to do. Determining whether crops need to be watered that are grown as part of a commercial operation. The FAA is trying to tell you can't make money with a drone. If I wanted to start a little business, photographing aerial shots of houses for sale and selling to the realtors, I can't do that? That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. How dare they try to control that? Yes, they control the airways, but they shouldn't control how, if you decide to make a living with it. I mean, if you're flying it over crowds, I can understand it needing to be extra control because that's dangerous. That thing craps out, it's going to fall on someone's head. Especially some of these fancier ones like the ones I'm showing you here. I think it's pretty big. So the FAA notes that prohibition against commercial package delivery addresses Amazon's proposed prime air delivery system, which the company says would use drones to deliver orders to customers' front doors in less than 30 minutes. Yeah. Of course, if I live in about 300 miles away or so from Amazon's closest warehouse, I don't know if they'd fly it all the way up here and drop her at the door, but that could be dangerous if anything falls on the freeway or something, or as dry as we are, start a forest fire. Man arrested for flying his camera drone, over a crash site, allegedly refused to land. One of those he said, she said things. The cops claim they told him to land it a couple of times because there was an evac copter coming in, helicopter. And he says they didn't tell him that. Said he was only told about the care flight helicopter after he had already brought down his drone, not once but twice, and didn't fly it again after that. So that addresses another issue. They can be dangerous in that kind of situation. You can risk someone's life just so you want to get video of a crime scene or an accident scene. I can understand there being rules constituting that, and understandable since the FAA owns the airwaves, airways, whatever. They should have some kind of laws with them, and no matter what it is you're flying, or if anything that interferes with a scene like that, you're going to get in trouble. That goes without saying. But trying to tell you that you can't make a little money with it as long as you're not like flying over crowds. There's a company I spotlighted a while back called Dronecast, and supposedly they do aerial advertising at crowds and stuff like that, carrying banners instead of hiring a plane, which costs them a little expensive to drag a banner around and attach to a drone. But I guess they can't do that now. That's unfortunate. I mean, yeah, it's over a crowd. There should be other rules, maybe permits. A permit after you can prove that you're familiar with the safety regulations and stuff, and you're not going to fly, buzz people as you fly over a crowd. But I think it's ridiculous. You can't do anything to make any kind of money because the FAA trying to control it. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you're interfering with commercial aircraft or too close to an airport, yeah, I can understand they want control that, and you can get in serious trouble for that. But if you're doing something as simple as taking pictures of aerial photography, as long as you're not flying over skyscrapers or anything, I just can't believe they can enforce that. So I don't know all that much about quads, but drones, but I'd like to have one. It'd be neat to play around with, but unfortunately I had delusions of starting a business, because up here real estate seems to be the big thing, and starting a business, taking pictures of, aerial pictures and giving them to the real estate agents, and they're selling them to them or whatever. So much for that idea. There's a guy named Raphael Pirker, who was issued a $10,000 fine for flying a model airplane for hire in 2011. Really? Why would they care as long as you're not breaking the rules of the air? Why would they care if you're making a few bucks off it? Are they afraid it's going to get so, the air is going to get so saturated, people flying drones, that's going to clog up the airway? I mean, you can't fly over 400 feet, I think is the rule. It's in here somewhere. So, I mean, anyone stupid enough to get too close to an airport or too close to a commercial plane needs to be arrested anyway. But I guess they have to nip it in the bud, because one idiot's going to apparently ruin it for everybody, or will ruin it for everybody. Of course, the FAA, Mr. Pirker contested the fine and prevailed in court in past March. Yay for him. But the FAA has appealed, so we'll see where it goes. And you can't guide it by looking at a video screen. You have to actually be able to see it. I wonder if you can get around that by putting a little tiny camera in front of it, so you have a picture of a live picture of it on the screen, no matter where it is. Probably not. So, of course, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, sort of. FAA decided to streamline permit process for drone filming. There's any way you cut it, the commercial use of unmanned drone aircraft is presently illegal in the United States. A bucket of shit. Government's getting greedy. They can't seem to get it. They can't figure out a way to get. They have to figure a way to nickel and dime you, so they figure they didn't make you buy a permit. Most people would be happy to pay taxes on what money they make off them, so the government should be happy with that too, but of course they're not. They're greedy and control freaks. However, it says, one needn't dig too deep into industries such as filmmaking, real estate, and farming to find the prolific use of drones for professional purposes. Spurred by rapid advances in technology, the Federal Aviation Administration is currently overhauling its official regulations that dictate what is and isn't legal in regard to the commercial use of drones. But this ruling could take well over a year to arrive. In the interim, the FAA is presently considering the creation of a quick permit approval process for professional drone operators. I would assume it'd be for professional filmmakers and other things that are more high-end uses for drones, rather than little old me taking pictures of real estate and trying to sell it to real estate agents or the homeowners, whatever. It says, it should be noted that the FAA is stating that this approval process will be for a limited number of operators, of course, and apply only to aircraft weighing fewer than 55 pounds. The Phantom, the one I'd like to have, it looks like it weighs a lot less than that. So of course, for the complete understanding of the laws surrounding drone use, be sure to check out B&H Explora post entitled "Are Quadcopters Legal?" I'll put that link in the description. It's Are Quadcopters Legal by Timothy McDougall. So, yeah, it annoys me a little bit that they think they can try. I mean, yeah, if you're filming for like a professional film industry and you're flying drones way up there and over things, yeah, a permit probably would be required. Because most filming in certain locations, you have to have a permit anyway. But someone wants to have like a little private company, or check his crop. If you own a commercial farm, you can't check your crop. How are you? I mean, you're making money with your crop and not the drone. You can't use your crop to check your drone to check your crop. That's ridiculous. Boy, Uncle Sam's getting old, getting ridiculous in his old age. Because you do have certain rights. You can film something in public on a public location. They really can't do anything. You know, if you can film the cops or whatever, you can't. If you're on a public area, and I guess your presence known, you have a right to film. But now they're trying to take that away. You know, if you have a drone hovering over a, I mean the news helicopters are always hovering over the crime scenes, but they're pretty far up there and they follow rules. Obviously, you need a license to fly a helicopter, so perhaps it could be a license for a drone if you want to use it for commercial use, so you're familiar with the safety and regulations and stuff, and where not to fly, where to fly. You know, like I said, like I like to do real estate photography. Of course, you don't need a permit or anything if you're taking pictures for your own use, but if you want to sell your pictures, you're SOL for the time being. But I think, yeah, I can understand that. Apparently there was somewhere in Australia, a drone fell out of the sky, landed on a triathlete's head. So yeah, there are dangers, and of course there's idiots flying them. Just like banning certain fireworks, one idiot blows his hand off and ruins it for everybody. But what annoys me is the government is going to figure a way to make a buck off it, sure as shit. Even though if you're using it for commercial purposes, you're more than likely paying taxes. What do you want? But I'll lead up to old Uncle Sam trying to nickel and dime everyone to death. So that's my rant. Not kind of a mild rant. Like I said, I don't know much about drones or anything like that, but I still think that's ridiculous. I mean, I'd like to see what the thinking is behind that idea. I mean, like I said, I understand if you're flying over crowds or something like that, but rinky-dink things like, like I said, taking pictures and selling your photographs, as long as it's not, flying over cities and stuff, real estate photography. If the neighbor gets annoyed, you can always show them that you edited out of the video if they want. If not, no. Yes, you're SOL. It'd also be interesting how they do these 360 room tours. You could always get a little bitty drone with a camera and do a 360 like that and fly it through the house and do a tour like that and have someone do voiceover play, because those things are pretty loud. So that'd be an interesting thing. But for higher end commercial use, like I guess if you're doing a commercial videography, for the movie studios or something like that, yeah, probably a permit, because like I said, filming for most filming on scene anywhere requires permits from the city or whatever. But maybe some kind of class you can go through, safety class or whatever. I mean, if you have to have a license, if you need a license, you need a license. I mean, as long as you can still, make money, still make money. I mean, it's coming. I mean, it's so prolific right now. I don't think the government could stop it if they tried. Because the technology is evolving so fast, the laws fall behind. So, yeah, right. So the laws are always playing catch up. There's always out that, bad news for, just think what kind of economy we'd have if, and another income stream. Now they're trying to stop it. I mean, come on. Yeah, drones are somewhat expensive, but still, I just think it's ridiculous. But just look at it like this: if the paparazzi start using it to film, stars. Because some paparazzis will climb in trees with telephoto lenses. They had a drone from somewhere. Oops. They had a drone. They could use a drone to look through people's windows. That could, cities could potentially ban drones and screw it for the rest of us too if they did that. So, and common sense dictates. You don't look through people's windows or private property. It's common sense, but a lot of idiots out there don't follow common sense, unfortunately. So again, it screws it for the rest of us. So, I don't know what to make of it. I doubt the FAA is going to bow or anything, so they're pretty much putting the kibosh on something else. I like the idea they think they control the air from the ground up, especially when it comes to something like that. They're just overreaching, in my opinion. But they're the government. What are you going to do about it? Big brother. I was kind of hoping that if I could afford a drone, those Phantom drones start at about $650 or so. If I had one, I'd start a little real estate photography business and challenge the FAA in court. You know, I'd love to be able to challenge it in court. Of course, government having unlimited funds, but still, like I said, it'd be fun to challenge it and be the one to challenge it in court because they're being ridiculous, especially if a little guy like me wants to make a few bucks on the side. I happen to own a drone. They don't have a right. FAA doesn't have a right to tell me that I can't do that. The only thing they have a right to tell me is how high to fly it and how close to an airport I can fly it. But I think it's 5 miles. You know, don't fly it in a dangerous manner over crowds or peek into people's windows or anything. I mean, just common sense. But the FAA doesn't have a right to tell me that I can make money with a drone. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. But that's my take. That's how I see things. And Lord knows I'll probably never be able to afford a drone. I mean, there's some little itty-bitty baby ones. I'd probably get a little itty-bitty camera on them. But those nice Phantom ones would be really cool. But knowing my neighbors, because we don't have private fences per se. Why don't I keep doing the quotes? We don't have private fences. Most of the fences up here are chain link, so I don't know what. Yeah, they have a expectation of privacy. I'm not going to fly over there. I'm not going to film someone else's property. I wouldn't do that. But I'm out walking with the camera I'm filming on right now, doing a vlog. I point it at me or I point it straight ahead of me on the ground. I don't point it at people's properties for that reason. We need to be able to do. Of course, there's another thing I just thought of. If I had a drone, I'd like to do drone vlogs, but I monetize my vlog, so I won't be able to monetize that one, I guess. Or if my whole channel is monetized, I get in trouble that way too. It puts a kibosh on that. Jeez. Was it something that comes out that the government can't understand or keep up with? They have to try to fully control it? That's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Hopefully, you know, be enough challenges that hopefully things will change. Because there are people out there making money with drones. I'm sure there are. And the FAA really doesn't have any way of enforcing it. They can enforce the laws of the air, you know, so you're not screwing with the commercial planes and stuff. But, or going over the model airplane height, which is 400 feet. To tell you you can't make money? No, I'm sorry. They're overreaching. That's how I see things. So, I'm not sure what my next rant will be. I was thinking, doing a thing about why Apple is so expensive, which is a good reason they're expensive. It might be my next video. Look into that. So until then, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. This is my first try at one of these, so hopefully they'll get better. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and watch more videos on this channel. And I accept all constructive criticism. I accept all constructive criticisms, but I don't acknowledge trolls. Thank you.